The Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship is supposed to be the grandest and most prestigious event of the entire year, the culmination of all the hard work, preparation, or just god-tier heart of the cards level moments that propelled a duelist to the top. This event is one that truly cements a player's legacy, turns them into a legend, and the king or queen of games. Usually outside of some minor production issues or a boneheaded decision by Konami, like holding last year's Worlds in a dusty, rundown office with bad lighting, the Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship goes off without a hitch, and the actual gameplay/integrity isn't affected in any way. However, this year, that all went completely out of the window, with some arguing that a Yugi-Tuber of all things actually ruined the entire event. So for all my TCG only duelists out there, just bear with me for a second, because to truly understand what happened, first I need to introduce you to Dkayed Yugioh, aka Duel Links meta. Dkayed is a massive Yugi-Tuber and streamer. In fact, he's arguably the largest streamer of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and has been since the game's release, where he switched his content from Duel Links focus to primarily Master Duel. Dkayed doesn't just have a massive YouTube channel and live stream, however, he also has his own full-blown website completely devoted to Master Duel, where you can find full written articles, tier lists, ban list updates, information on new pack releases, and tournament results. Being completely objective and honest here, his website is largely a phenomenal resource with unrivaled information and tips about Master Duel, one that can be helpful for beginners looking to take the leap into competitive, all the way up to seasoned veterans searching for the smallest edge for their next big cup grind. Sounds good so far, right? Well, the issue with Dkayed and his website is that at some point, Dkayed really took a liking to leaked and data mined information on Master Duel. Basically searching through tons and tons of files and information and finding out what's coming down the line to Master Duel before Konami actually makes the information public. Dkayed not only accesses this information, but also routinely posts his findings on his Master Duel meta website, and specifically has an entire section dedicated to the leaks. As you might imagine, Konami is not only fully aware of this, but they aren't too fond of it either. Konami suspended Dkayed from the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG for 3 years just last year in 2023, which to my knowledge is still an active suspension he is serving. While being banned did take Dkayed by surprise, it in no way stopped him from posting leaks on his website and YouTube channel. To my knowledge, Dkayed hasn't actually played the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG at a premiere event in years, and I'm talking 10 plus. So I seriously doubt he actually cares about the suspension, especially considering that his entire brand and revenue streams have stemmed from Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links and Master Duel. So based on this punishment, there's really no incentive for him to stop posting leaked and data mined information. With that being said, many have argued that what he did over the Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel Worlds weekend emphatically crossed the line. Forget about leaking packs or new cards, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't actually hurt any of the players or tournaments. Instead, this time Dkayed leaked the full deck list of nearly every competitor of the Master Duel World Championship. For the record, this information was posted prior to the start of the event and made public right on the front page of his website. Many in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community like Nash and Judo Yu-Gi-Oh! Were absolutely furious and made their thoughts very public in videos, Twitter posts, and even commenting on Dkayd's very website itself.
Like, I think what Dkayed just did ruins the integrity of the Master Duel competition. The thing is, it's a 3v3. People are supposed to share infos in between each other in order to figure out the opponent's strategy, the opponent's shared cards, and the opponent decklist. Dkayed just decided to remove the part of the competition by posting every decklist on his website, Master Duel Meta. Like, it goes against everything that a Yu-Gi-Oh! Competition should be.
It should be obvious their reasoning, but leaking such information could have a profound impact on the tournament. Yu-Gi-Oh! Players spend weeks training and testing for the World Championship, and their decisions on what deck theme to play, as well as niche and special tech cards to include in their deck, are often incredibly meticulous. In the Master Duel Worlds tournament, I'd argue it's even more important than the standard TCG/OCG events, because Master Duel Worlds is a team event, as players may select certain themes to balance out their team composition. Giving all this information away for the entire field to see, and again, before the tournament even began nonetheless, arguably invalidates the entire process. Now a player could be faced with a situation where an opponent plays completely differently because they know exactly what they're going to be facing before a card is even played. All the special tech someone spent hours researching and testing to gain an advantage, gone, completely out of the window because their opponent can see it coming a mile away and plan accordingly. In my personal opinion, this goes completely against the spirit of Yu-Gi-Oh! And everything that the franchise stands for. Whether it be duels that took place in the anime such as Yugi vs Arcana, where the breaking point was the appearance of Yugi's Dark Magician Girl, which was completely unbeknownst to Arcana, or real-life TCG competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Where a deck like Comic Odyssey, CO Burn, won multiple Shonen Jump championships largely thanks in part to its 15-card conversion side deck that made it insanely difficult to prepare for. The concept of the element of surprise and it being a huge and vital factor to one's competitive success has always been apparent in Yu-Gi-Oh! Some may argue that niche tech and decks are often public knowledge by the top cuts of large tournaments like YCS events, and that the surprise factor is gone by day 2. And while there is merit to that argument, that's very different from players being able to see full deck lists before the event even starts, thus being able to adapt on the fly before the top cuts has even begun. After the avalanche of immediate backlash came on social media, Dkayed used the opportunity to juice the drama as he described it and explained his reasoning as to why he did it on his live stream. His reason—
absolute worst. You don't care about the competitive environments. You don't care about how your actions affects the players at Worlds. You just want to grab as much money as possible. That's an absolute L. You should have just waited to post them at least after day 1, but you don't care at all, do you? So Judeo Yugioh, very likely one of those players I described to you all, as I have 2 times experience at Worlds where players at home, if you're friends with them, they will watch all the replays, they will gather the deck list themselves, they'll create a spreadsheet with you, they'll message you in Discord, everyone's secret texts, what they're playing, what they're not playing. So Judeo Yugioh, possibly likely with that strategy, is upset that his friends at home watching Worlds now can't secretly give Judeo Yugioh the secret text where no one else will have that. So that advantage that Judeo Yugioh had has now been taken away by MasterDuelMeta.com. So Judeo, I'm very sorry that you're now on an even playing field. You now, in between matches, can't be fed secret information on your opponent's decks as you have someone at home or multiple people at home. Who knows, maybe you have 10, 20 people gathering all the information to feed it to you. So no extra advantage for you. Good luck at Worlds though.
The thing was largely that he was creating an even and level playing field for all the participants, and that some of the competitors would have friends or teammates access the same data mine information that he did to get the advantage anyways. While Dkayd's argument makes some sense, I'd still argue that his solution hurts the integrity of Master Duel Worlds overall. We know as players that duelists will use information to adapt to their opponent's strategy if they have the information beforehand. That's just inevitable. Furthermore, I don't even fault the players for using Dkayd's website leaks because it sort of becomes a baseball steroids era situation where everyone was doing it at the time. Dkayed basically opened the Pandora's box on the event and there was no way to shut it. So if you didn't use the information and your opponent did, you'd be at a huge disadvantage in a match through no fault of your own, and viewing the deck list, to my knowledge, doesn't violate any Master Duel rules or guidelines. Overall, I think it's a terrible situation where an outside force that should have had nothing to do with the event beyond watching it or streaming it for content may have changed the entire tournament and arguably destroyed the integrity of the event. Again, look at the Pokemon TCG World Championship if you think that the outcome of an event can't change. For the record, I'm intentionally using terms like arguably and in my personal opinion because there were a lot of people who completely agreed with Dkayd's actions of leaking the deck list and saw it as a way of leveling the playing field so that no one had advantages. Honestly, if I was either Konami or any of the participants, I would be absolutely furious, but I could argue that Konami themselves have allowed this to happen by taking little to no action against Dkayd's leaks, which he notes as educated guesses on his website, but are usually spot on. Konami could easily issue cease and desist, take down his videos, or go after the website itself as it features Yu-Gi-Oh characters all over the place, which of course Dkayed does not have the license for. Maybe people will argue that it didn't matter because Jesse Cotton's team won, and he's probably the best player in the world right now. Anyways, those are just all my thoughts and opinions, and I seriously want to hear yours in the comment section below, because maybe you don't agree with me and maybe you're on Dkayed's side. Leave everything that you thought about this pretty insane situation. Leave it all in the comment section below, and thank you guys for watching as always.